Well, I have been putting this off for a long time. Been thinking about making this video and starting this whole thing, and I've always found one excuse or another not to do it. But fact of the matter is, with all this coronavirus stuff and not really making anything as a rideshare driver right now because nobody's going anywhere, kind of have a lot of time to do it. How to start? Well, I'm 45 years old. Let me preface this by saying I am in no way an expert at doing any of this stuff. I've never done YouTube videos before. I don't know if this is even going to be any good. I don't know if anybody will watch it. I don't know. But I'm just going to put it out there and see what happens. So I'm 45 years old. In my 20s, I was in pretty good shape. I was training in the martial arts. I had just I'd been training to go into the army, and so I was pretty muscular, pretty good shape, flexible, the whole 9 yards. But I got married, and I raised a son for the latter part of that as a single dad. And over time, just kind of neglected the whole working out and staying in shape thing. And flash forward like 20 some odd years, and well, as you can tell, I'm fat, old, out of shape. I used to be able to run 2 miles in just under 16 minutes, as the Army required at the time. I don't know if that's still a requirement, but I could do that. I was never much of a runner. I'm more of a short burst guy, but I could do that. I could bench press my own weight. Was in good shape. But now I've gotten fat and lazy. And I hate admitting that, but it's true. And every time I look in the mirror, I can't deny what the truth is. Now I have 2 little kids. I've gotten remarried, and I have a 5-year-old son and a 4-year-old daughter. And every time I look at them, I think to myself, fat boy, you could die of a heart attack and leave them behind, and then they would have to grow up without their daddy because you got fat and lazy. And that doesn't sit well with me at all. And it's, to be honest, it's not just them. It's a lot of it is them. But I'm just not happy with the way that I am right now. But I think to myself, 45 years old, what can you really do? What can you, I'm not as flexible and spry and strong and young as I once was, so I don't even know what's possible. I don't know how fit and in shape I can get. I don't know how much weight I can even lose. My metabolism isn't the same as it once was. Not that I ever had a very fast metabolism. I always tended toward being kind of chunky. I think I don't know. I think the technical term for my body type is something like ectomorph, mesomorph. basically, I tend to be a little fat, but I also put on muscle really quickly. And it doesn't take long for me to go, or at least it didn't used to take long for me to go from fat to muscle. But I don't know what's possible anymore. And you know, that's been kind of scary for me, and it's been part of what has kind of prevented me from trying to do anything about my body. But the more and even sitting here saying this now and thinking about it, it just seems like an excuse. And it's not going to be a great excuse when, you know, one day my kids wake up and don't have their dad anymore. And even my elder son, who is off on his own and doesn't need his dad anymore, still would be brokenhearted if I kicked off because I just got fat and lazy. So it occurred to me a while back that it might be a good idea to make this YouTube channel be completely honest, as honest as I can be, about where I am and what I'm doing and the whole 9 yards. Not just, well, I mean, mostly for like accountability's sake, because here's the truth. I tend to start projects and then kind of peter out. Get lazy. But if I have people out there who are watching and following along, and I've put myself out there for accountability, that's less likely to happen. So I decided, why not? I'll go ahead and make this video, talk to you guys a little bit, kind of tell you where I am, just see how it goes. I mean, like I said, I'm not a professional. I'm not one of those people who has all the, you know, high quality studio equipment and all that other stuff. I'm just a dude. I'm just a guy. But I'm a guy who's recognized that there's a problem, and I really need to fix it. So I have to guesstimate right now that I'm something on the order of about 320 pounds, roughly. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. I haven't weighed myself in a long time. And as far as like doing the whole tape test body fat measurement, I have no idea. I'm just fat. That's what I know. And I've lost a lot of muscle. I don't know how far I can go. I don't know what's possible. I don't know if it's possible for me to get into great shape. You know, you always hear about these, 50-something-year-old guys who are in the best shape of their life or whatever. I don't know if that's possible. I really don't. But I need to find out. And so that's what this is. This is going to be a visual record, and I guess video record, of my attempt to go from big fat fatty to in decent shape. You can't really go anywhere unless you know where you're going, what your goal is. That much I know. So I know that I am, like I said, roughly 320 pounds-ish. The next video, or the next part of this video, depending on how it all works out, I don't know how to edit stuff. I'm gonna have to figure that out. But the next video, or the next part of this video, will be a very frank assessment of where I am. I know that my goal is to be about 220, 225 pounds. Now, I'm 6 feet tall. So 220 to 225 pounds, according to most charts and stuff like that, is still overweight, because they say that I should be about 190 pounds. I have been down to 190 pounds before, and 190 pounds on me looks sick. I look like I'm ill. Just the way that I'm built, my body structure, I need to be about 10 to 15 pounds heavier than that. Plus, I'd like to put some muscle back on, and muscle weighs more than fat. So I figure 220, 225 pounds is a good goal weight. And even if I'm still a little bit, chubby, I guess they call it a dad bod these days. But even if I'm still a little bit chubby at that point, as long as I'm healthy, that's what matters. I'm not trying to be Mr. Ohio. Like I said, I met that guy and he is jacked, silly. I'm not trying to be like that. I would just like to know that I'm fit, I'm healthy, I'm flexible. If on the off chance that I need to defend myself or my family, I can. I'm not going to be out of breath if I have to run and play with my kids or carry stuff up the stairs. That's what my goal is. Just overall fitness, and let's be honest, I want to look in the mirror and be happy with what I see. So I wouldn't mind if I have a little bit of muscle here and there, some pecs. I'm not trying to get six-pack abs, but it'd be nice to be able to not have my belly hang over my belt, if you know what I mean. So that's my goal. That's where I'm headed. How to get there? Well, that's going to be part of all of this. I have to figure that out. I do know that at least for the first little while, I'm going to be using the keto diet. The reason I'm going to be using the keto diet is because it's a diet that I know that I can stick with. I did it last year. I was on it for about 6 months. I lost 75 pounds. And it wasn't hard, because most of the stuff that you can eat on a keto diet is the stuff that I like to eat. To be honest, I don't really like candy and sweets and cake and desserts and all that other stuff. That's not me. That's not my problem. My problem is that I eat too much. And I don't eat the right things, and I don't exercise. So I know what my problem is. But I need to get into a realm where I can start adding in exercise and stuff like that, and it's not terribly uncomfortable. Like right now, I probably couldn't do sit-ups. I couldn't do that many sit-ups or crunches or whatever, just because my belly's in the way, and you can see. Let's be honest. When I do the next part of this video or whatever it's going to be, I'm going to show you where I am. I'm going to show you. And I'm really terrified to do it, because I don't even take my shirt off when I go to the pool or whatever. But I got to be honest. I got to be frank. This is not going to work if I'm not honest with you guys. And so you're going to see right where I am. You're going to see how much exactly I weigh. And you'll know as much as I do. So I'm pretty terrified about that, but it's got to be done. So anyway, the keto diet is what I've chosen because I know that I can stick to it. I lost 75 pounds on it last year. The thing was, when I went off of it, as with most of these type of diets, I put the weight right back on, because it's more of a lifestyle diet. So anybody who thinks that you can just go on it, lose weight, and then go off and keep the weight off, that's not true. It's a lifestyle, and if you don't transform your life around that, then you're going to put the weight back on, which is what happened to me. But I knew that going into it. I just didn't plan for it, because the other side of the keto diet is, while you're losing all the weight and getting into shape and stuff like that, you should be learning how you're supposed to eat so that you can eat everything and not have to worry about putting on the weight. And you should also be adding in your exercise, your fitness routine, so that you can maintain and put on some muscle, because muscle burns more calories than fat does, and the more muscular you are, the less difficult it is to lose weight. So the keto diet will be the first part of it. Some of these videos are going to be things where I'm just sharing with you guys information that I'm learning. I know some things. I mean, as you can probably tell, I know a couple of things here and there. But I don't know everything, and so I'm going to have to learn a lot. I'm going to have to learn how I work, how my body works, how I need to eat. One thing that I do know is that I want to be able to eventually go back to eating some carbs, because I love sushi, and sushi is actually very healthy for you, assuming that you're not fat like me and sedentary like me, and you can lose weight eating sushi. How do I know this? I spent some time in Japan in 2013. 4 months I lived there. And while I was there, I didn't worry about what my diet was, but I ended up losing almost 50 pounds. And the reason that I lost almost 50 pounds is because I ate a lot of Japanese food. And Japanese food is mostly meat, vegetables, and rice. I didn't eat a lot of the kind of stuff that Americans eat, so like fast food, which, being a rideshare driver, I eat a lot of, unfortunately, and I shouldn't be doing it. So that's another thing I'm going to have to figure out, is how to mitigate how to manage what I eat while I'm out on the road. But I ate a lot of Japanese food, so it's, like I said, meat, vegetables, rice, noodles. But what I did was I walked everywhere. Japan has a really good public transportation system, so I never needed a car, let alone a bicycle. I walked where I needed to go, and when I needed to go somewhere that was further than I could walk, I walked to the bus station and then took the bus or the train or whatever. But I did a lot of walking, and so between eating Japanese food and doing walking, I lost almost 50 pounds. When I came back to the United States, I put it right back on. So I need to learn how to be able to reincorporate that stuff, and clearly part of being able to reincorporate that stuff is getting some exercise, which I don't do right now. So that's another thing I'm going to have to learn how to do, is to schedule my day so that I can fit my exercise in, which means managing my time better. So you'll get to see me learning how to do that. You'll get to see me learn how to eat, what not to eat, when to eat it. If there's any supplements that I need, what those are. But the initial part of this is going to be figuring out where I am and then getting into keto. Now, getting into keto is not hard. But it can be challenging, especially if you've eaten a lot of carbs, if you've been eating a lot of carbs, which I have. What I found is that the best way for me to get into keto is to go on a 2-day liquid fast with no sugar, no anything, just basically drinking chicken broth. for 2 days, and pretty much that burns the carbs out of my system and switches my body over to burning fat, which is the beginning of getting into keto. When people say that they're in keto, what they generally mean is that they're keto adapted. In other words, their body has switched over to primarily burning fat as fuel and not carbs, and that takes a while. But to just get into the beginning of that, for me, it takes 2 to 3 days, something like that. But I'll show you guys how I do that, and I'll explain my diet plan and stuff like that when I do the next video. So anyway, that's kind of what this is going to be. I'm sorry if this is a little bit rambling or stuff like that. I'm a guy who doesn't really go by scripts. I know a lot of people will go out there and they'll write down scripts and do all this other stuff. I just kind of like to talk from the heart. Just be honest. I feel like if I'm doing scripts and stuff like that, then I'm not really being honest. And although, I mean, I can tell the truth in a script too, but for me, I just feel like I'm more honest when I just talk from off the cuff. That being said, there will be times that I have like notes or whatever, because there are certain things that I want to cover, and I just need to remember the things that I need to cover. So if you ever see me kind of looking down or glancing at something, then that's what it is. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm covering all the subjects that I need to cover. I don't know how this channel is going to evolve. I really don't. And honestly, I will deeply value all of your input, all of your comments, as long as they're relatively polite. All of your suggestions. If you have resources that you want to point me to, things that'll be helpful, that you think will be helpful for me, I will appreciate all of that. I will respond to comments. So, I like the interaction, and so I'm looking forward to that. I really am. And hopefully some of you guys will see this and say, you know what, if that fat guy can do this, and I can do it too. I'm sure that there are a lot of you out there who are in my same situation. You've gotten, you've grown older, gained weight, kind of forgotten about your health and fitness, and now you're kind of looking around going, oh geez, what do I do? Well, come along with me. We can do this together. We can help each other out, and support each other, encourage each other, maybe laugh at each other a little bit. I'm really looking forward to all that stuff, and I really hope that this kind of takes off. Like I said, if there's anything that I find that's helpful to me, I will share that with you guys. I hope you will do the same. Let's just get fit. Seriously. Let's do it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.